I was certified, but then I didn't have any a practical knowledge about practicing as a project manager, even though I had passed PMP, but I needed 10 Analytics at this point. So I enrolled. The truth is that I enrolled, first of all, into business analysis. Okay, so I did business analysis because I already wrote PMP. So I thought writing PMP, I got the knowledge. But when I enrolled, I said, no, let me get to business analysis. When I entered there, so I was a complete novice. Can you believe? So when I finished business analysis, I just enrolled into project management, which is my core area this April 2026. And this is my first project. So I don't know if I can show you. If you're okay with the introduction, this is the first project we did in project management, April cohort. So this is for my pod. My pod is Polaris. If you come to 10Alytics, when you join, you will see they will put you in pods. Okay. So this is an executive management team. We presented this to the team, and it's a project that was going to last for 5 months. For a talent 360 HR consulting firm in Nairobi. So this firm,
hello,
they
sorry
engage.
for interrupting. Could you please share your screen? Or would
Oh,
you
okay.
want to do that
Oh,
for you?
yeah. I just realized. Okay.
All right,
Let me
thank you.
share. I share now. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Let me share the entire screen. I hope I can. Share. Okay. It's a bit different here, but I believe I can share the browsing screen. Are they there?
Oh, sorry. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
tell me.
please.
The browsing screen, you can see everything now.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so could we put
Okay.
that on slideshow so that it's more visible? So you could. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, I hide this as well. Okay, is it fine? Is okay now?
It's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so Smart Hire is a project. This Talent 360 HR consulting firm in Nairobi wanted to delve into. Why? Because they are hiring consultants firm, and they've been doing their things manually. And they plan to digitize their recruitment, onboarding, and then their hiring cycle time to reduce and enhance data-driven HR services. So imagine where you are rendering HR services to people and you're still using Excel sheets, you're still using Microsoft Word, you document these things manually and they lose data. They are not able to take decisions, they're not able to know how much financial returns they are getting. They are not measurable financial returns. So they needed to embark on Smart Hire, but then they were not sure. So in the project management team, we are consulted to show Smart Hire the possibility of embarking into this talent management system, a cloud-based system that will help them to digitize their processes. And if the justification is right, if they accept it, if management executive team accepts the justification, they will go ahead and implement. So in our business case. So our deliverables were to present a business case to the management, present a project charter, present a Gantt chart, present a project plan, show them return on investment, financial justification, and then be able to show the critical parts and all that. So we had about 6 deliverables. So the budget for the project that the Talent 360 gave for this project was 120,000 for 5 months, and we found that the return on investment was 20.8%. I'll walk you through that, and their payback period was less than 1 year. So what was the problem. So they were experiencing long hiring cycle. They were experiencing fragmented HR data. So they were not able to, because these things were done manually, and then disorganized onboarding processes. Imagine where people are onboarded manually, and then there's confusion always along the line. And then there are limited KPI trackings. You also learn how to track KPIs that will help management to take data-driven decisions. So that's what we came up with. And the financial justification, just like I said, was that at the end of the day, by putting in this budget, which is a one-time release of $120,000 that will cover development, that will cover testing and deployment of this project, that this Talent 360 is going to realize a reduction in the HRO workload. There's going to be reduction in error, and that will help them to gain about $40,000 and $15,000 respectively, which will amount to $55,000 per annum as per annual cost savings. So you see, when you're working with data, you're clear about what you're doing and you can take smart decisions. Then their annual revenue could increase by $60,000 and $30,000 respectively by achieving higher cycle time. Do you understand? And then customer satisfaction. When their clients that they're conducting HRO processes for, recruitment for, are satisfied, they will come back, and then they are able to gain about $30,000 in client satisfaction, amounting to $90,000 per year. And then the total annual benefits for this implementing this smart hire system will be giving Talent 360 consulting firm about $145,000 in 1 year. So this is projected. So the projected returns about $140,000. If you calculate the ROI, when you join 10Alytics as well, you will be able to calculate all these things. They are very easy. $140,000 that they gained, by deploying this project or this new system, minus how much they invested, which is $120,000. You can see, divided by that investment times 100/1, we got about 20.8% on ROI, which gives their payback period for within less than 1 year. So with this, management is convinced that they will go embark on this journey. Their payback period is within 1, and they have profits. Okay, so the financial justification is it makes sense. Then, as a project manager, our work is to present this to the consulting firm and allow them take decisions. So the project objective, remember, if they are going to implement the smart hire, is to automate their recruitment. That will give them all this increase in about 40% increase in the workload, reduction in HR workload. Okay, then the faster hiring cycle will also give them about less than 10 days of hiring cycle. The centralized data, everybody is seeing it. There's a dashboard where management can look at and see and take decisions. There's regulatory compliance. Of course, once you meet up with compliance, everyone is good with you. Your customers or your clients will not leave you, and you won't have problem with regulatory bodies. Now, the objective as well is also to gain real-time reporting, of course, through dashboards and client satisfaction and scalability. Now, in any project, we were taught, like, this is 3 months into the project, not even up to 3 months into the project. So we're taught that there's something called in scope and out scope, that every project, as a project manager, you're supposed to work within the scope of the project. So if this investor or your client says, I'm giving you $120,000 to carry out this project, you'll be able to tie this whole process to the scope, within the scope, so that you don't commit what is called scope creep. You will see that in risk analysis. So these are the scope of the work we're going to cover, and this is what we are not supposed to cover. Now, in every project you spell out your stakeholders. Okay, so as a project manager as well, we were taught that you identify your stakeholders and their interests and their influence. Now, for this particular project, the executive sponsor of this project is a stakeholder in this project, and then his interest is high. Of course, the person that is bringing the money, your interest is high now. You don't want to risk it, and then your influence is also high. Anything he says can happen. So, and all that. I may not take them all one by one. There's the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, there's the project manager, there's a back-end developer, there's a UX designer, and all these other team, they make up the stakeholder. You will be taught all these things in 10Alytics, how to map out your stakeholder, their influence and their interest, and then the areas they are going to focus on to make the project be delivered seamlessly. Now, the assist and the gap analysis. So in this project also, we were able to map out the gap analysis. This is their present state. I have mentioned their present state severally. They were doing a lot of manual screening using emails and their spreadsheet. Right now, most companies are automating their emails, their spreadsheet, of course, with an automated system. The manual processes will be ruled out. And then to be state. So assist state is the current state of the company before you met them. Now, this is where they are going to, the to be state. So as a project manager, you're also taught to be able to map out the gap. So the gap is from here to here. What is the gap? What we are trying to breach. Okay. So the disorganized manual forms, we're going to have a structured digital workflow fragmented across emails and clouds. We're going to have a secure centralized database, no job board and HR integration. There's going to be seamless third-party integration, with job boards. Now there's manual limited KPI visibility. Now there's going to be a real-time dashboard and analytics. Okay, so right now they were having a process. The process don't scale with growth. Of course, customers were not satisfied. They cannot scale. People were living there. They were losing money. Okay, they were losing money. So, but here there's going to be a cloud-based scalable platform. Now, the solutions we offered. So as a PM as well, when you're developing a project charter, a business case, and also a project charter, you show clearly, especially in a business case, the options, so if they maintain their manual process, there's not going to be any implementation cost. Of course, if the situation where you are right now that you want to change, if I wanted to remain as a lecturer, I don't want to make a move and transition into tech and spend money to take trainings and become what I am today, I'll continue to be in the classroom. I will not spend money. So no implementation costs. You're not going to spend money, but there's going to be inefficiencies. It will remain. And there's poor scalability. There's high long-term cost. That problem that you're having will remain there because you choose to do nothing. We call it do nothing. So we don't recommend this. But the second option is okay to give clients these options so that they will see clearly, make their choices, okay, clearly. And then once they make their choices and they approve of the project, sign the project, you can go ahead as a project manager to get it done. So purchasing commercial HR, there are commercial HR softwares everywhere. They can download an app, they can choose to do that, but those ones are not going to, they are faster implementation, right? Established tech, but then there's high subscription rate. You keep subscribing, and whatever happens to that company will also affect you. It is not customized, so partially suitable. So we, the project managers, we say, this is not recommended, this is partially suitable. Anyone you want to choose, you choose. Then there's development of a smart hire. Now, this one will cost you money. Of course, they were already ready to spend $120,000, right, to achieve something better. So then we are going to customize it for them. It's going to be tailored and flexible and fully owned by them, by the company, and they are going to gain competitive edge, and the process will be scalable, okay? But there's going to be initial recovery. So anyone that the management chooses will go with it. So that's our position as a project manager. Now, the milestone, we also have the milestones and the timeline. So we also developed the timeline for them. We broke it down into 8, and depending on the just matching the project objective as well. So let me explain it better here. So because the project is going to be achieved in 5 months, we were able to break down the phases. So in project management, they teach us about initiation, and after that initiation, you plan your project. Okay, so during this planning, you break it down into phases. I'm going to show the project plan once I'm done with this. So we broke it down into 2. So if they want to achieve this, the month 1 in July, starting from today, that is 1st of July, if this project takes up from today, we're going to go and interview stakeholders, gather requirements, and do all these processes here. And then by August, we're going to be working with the back end, and they're going to be defining APIs and all that. The 3rd month, the 4th month, and the 5th month. Let me not go into too much details, because the terms here may not be very clear to you, but this is what you break down as a project manager in phases, depending on the time and the cost and the scope. So we have 5 months to achieve this, and we broke this down into 5 months. So we were also taught how to do what is called WBS, so breakdown structure. So this is almost like what is there. So you can see the phase 1, requirement analysis and system decision. I will show you clearly. This is a little blurry because I screenshotted. Okay, so you'll be taught how to develop your work breakdown structure, where you broke down these things, how you're going to achieve it, so that you can achieve that within. So this is also looking like complicated. When I joined project management cohorts, I didn't know how to do this, really. And it's amazing. I could design this right now and break down this is the project plan, and this is the Gantt chart. So we were also taught how to do this. Is not that difficult. Now, the budget estimate, we were also to work within the 120,000 that was released for this project. So you can see now the requirement analysis and design will take us 20,000. The back end and the UI development will take us 40,000. So even if you get this job as a freelancer, you'll be able to break down your work and tie it to the money that is released. Okay. Then present a budget to them and work within the budget. Now, the risk analysis, we also taught the risk analysis within these first 2 to 3 months. There's so for this particular project, you'll be able to analyze the risks that are likely to happen, their likelihood, their impact. So if this happens, this is there's a high likelihood of having a scope creep. Why? Because this is the scope we plan to work with, and the project sponsor or stakeholders can come up and say, no, we want to add this, we want to add this. If you're not careful as a project manager, you will commit what is called scope creep. Why? What it means is going out of your scope. Okay, so we also bring out a mitigation strategy that will tell you, no, instead of this should not happen. How I'm going to mitigate it is to be strict. There's going to be a strict change control and stakeholder sign-ups for all requests. So once stakeholders have signed and there's change control, if any change comes up, you can tell them, no, it was not part of what we signed initially. For this particular 5 months of deploying the first phase of this project is not in the scope. Is out of the scope. So you'll be able to, so when you're able to map out your risk by analyzing your risk analysis and mitigation, it helps you to keep your eye on the project and make sure you don't go outside the project. Also, this one for technical integration and all that, user resistance. Sometimes you may even do this and then the users may say, no, we don't want, but to mitigate it, you organize comprehensive trainings and the user feedback loop, and the HRO training lead will take care of it. These are the owners, the people that will take care of it. So once you put all these things in place, your project you'll be able to achieve your project according to the budget, the scope, and time. Now, the critical part is also one of the things we're supposed to deliver. So we're taught that a critical part is the shortest possible time to achieve a project. The shortest So if you watch here, I don't know if you understand what we have here. A B, there's no D. So if you follow this path, A B D E F G H, you will achieve this project without breaking any of it. If you also follow A C D, people that have done this before will understand. So you'll be taught how to calculate the critical part, and then this project will be done according to this critical part within 16 weeks. But always remember that there's room for buffer. We also, within 16 weeks, will be around 4 weeks, but remember we have 5 weeks. Of course, projects don't go as planned usually, so at the end of the day, we'll make use of that 5 months, to deliver the project. So the key success metrics here is that by adapting the project, the Smart Hire system, there's going to be measurable impact, like reduction in manual HR workload by more than 40%. Okay, no more Excel, no more physical work. Everything is automated and the work flows better. There's also an average of 10 days hire cycle. There's more than 90% new hire onboarding satisfaction. This is too good money for the firm. Okay, of course, when you have returning customers, you have people that are satisfied, is a higher revenue. Then client satisfaction score is about plus 20%. Then client volume handled without issue, of course, without issue now, plus 50%, and regulatory compliance and audit pass about 100%, completely compliant. Okay, so Smart Hire positions Stellan 360 as a competitive leader in digital talent management, delivering faster hiring, superior onboarding, both regulatory, meeting their regulatory compliance measures and all that, and regaining what they invested, their return on investment within 1 year. So thank you. This was actually done by my pod, and these are the project managers that did this work. Myself, Dr. Waneka, Sonita, Ray, Iyabo, Kutula, and Ibrahim. So thank you so much. Okay, so before I end, I'm supposed to show you the real-time project. I don't know if I can pick it from here. I wanted to show you the project plan. Hello, Adeze. Can I?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, I don't know how to remove this. Okay. Okay. Let me reduce this and see if I can find my way. Ooh. Okay, sorry. I wanted to go to my Google Drive and show them. There's this. Okay, yes, I can move it now. Thank you. So if you look here, you will see our projects. Okay, that's the. So this is how to prepare your WBS. That's how we were taught to prepare WBS. Sorry about all this blocking your way. Okay, so this is the WBS. It's clearer now, right? So where you map out the phases of the project clearly for every member of the stakeholder, is clear for management to see. All the stakeholders will see clearly what we're doing. So this is every week you're able to see clearly what is going on in the project. And okay, let me see. Okay, so this is the project's plan. I wanted to just show you this. It's amazing what we're able to achieve. Okay, so this is it. So in 10Alytics, they will teach you how to prepare a project plan this way. Previously, I cannot do this, but now it's easy peasy. Okay, so it goes all the way to the 6 weeks. If you look at here, phase 1, starting by July 1, this is August, this is September, and it goes on and on till November, the end of the phase, and see the timeline for achieving that. And this gives you the project manager clarity looking at the task you assigned and the timing for achieving each one. Okay, I think I've showed everything. And then they also taught us how to prepare your business. Okay, let me increase this a bit. So the business case, look at the documents called business case. You'll be taught how to prepare a business case. And uh, the business case, then the project charter. Here is our project charter. So these are all the deliverables in one project. It looks huge, but with training you'll be able to do this. So this is the critical part, and this is okay. So we have the smart sheets here. We also have the budget here, and okay. I think that's all. Thank you so much. This is our first capstone project, first project. So I'm
Wow,
expecting more.
wow. Thank you so much. This is so, so impressive. This is amazing, actually. I think someone in the chat box just asked where you started. Okay, so Dr. Wannek has started April, actually. Okay, so she's just
April,
getting
yeah,
into her
April.
third month. Yeah, exactly. So she's just getting into her third month and she still has 3 more months with us, then 2 months with internship. So, I mean, she just started and see how much she's been able to create and all the processes she's been able to, manage and execute. This is awesome. Really, really, really impressive. Like, I am so impressed. Thank you so much for this wonderful
Mhm.
presentation. Okay, so I'm sure
Thank you.
everyone had a blast. Everyone see the confettis everywhere. I'm sure a lot of people have probably learned a lot just from this session already. Okay, thank you so much for joining us and
Can I
guiding
stop
us.
sharing?
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So before I move on to the next, I would want to ask a question. I want to throw a question to you. So
Okay.
you mentioned you were lecturing, you were a lecturer um before taking on this course, and I can only imagine how busy your schedule would have been. So I just want you to, share how you were able to balance, not just studying, but also working on a project and executing a project this wonderfully while having, a demanding career. So if you could just give us some tips and tricks here.
Okay. Can I say that just because I have the passion, I was done doing these repetitive things, going to class, teach. I felt I was lost already. So the passion will help you to navigate the two. The first thing is a passion, truly, because I keep hearing AI, automation, the world is flying, the world is really flying, and I'm still here teaching in the classroom. My God. That's the only motivation I have. That's the only motivation I have. And it can't be more than that, my dear. You will find the time. Hey, when something is chasing you, you will create the time by force. Thank
I
you.
totally understand. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we have a question for you. So someone's asking what your background was before the course. I think we've gotten two questions like that. So if you could just tell us what your background was before venturing into.
Just business management, business administration. Yeah. Just last week, there was this consulting firm I worked for just last week. Okay, so I still consult for firms. So I was just on business advisory. So and the moderator of the cohort, just like you now, Nadeze, was my student, 2023 student of University of Nigeria, Enugu campus here. So she said, okay, so when they had a breakout session, she just came into my room and said, "Ma, I was your student. I was your student in 2023. You taught me all these things. I remember when you were telling us to do, hey." So yeah, I really motivate my students. So my background is business management. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for sharing with us. This was a lovely presentation and we really enjoyed it. I'm sure I enjoyed it, and I'm sure everyone else here on the call enjoyed it. So thank you once again
Yeah.
for joining us, and we can't wait to see more amazing projects you get to work on.
Thank
Okay?
you.
All right. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you. All
All right. Bye
right. So
bye.
bye. All right. So that was from Dr. Waneka. let's move on to Kainde. Hello, Kainde. Are you on the call? So Kainde will be presenting for
Hi,
Health Tech Business Analysis. Hello, hello. Welcome to today's session.
hi everyone. Hi, Adaeze. Good to hear from you again. Yeah, my name is Kehinde Akiwande, and will I say? I hope you can hear me very well.
Oh, yes, we can hear
Okay.
you. Thank
Yeah, sorry. I'm talking from all the way from Canada. So today is Canada Day, so I'm supposed to be out, but I'm here to just come and share my bits with everyone here, so we can, we can learn from what's happening today. And I'm going to be. I like the for Dr. Wanika's presentation. Really, I was really impressed because she also said a lot of things I'm going to say, so I'm not going to be repeating most of what she's going to say, but I'm just going to go on with my project. I started off in May. That's a few days after the 1st of May, so I can barely say it's less than 2 months since I started. And what that means is that, I've been able to do a lot learn a lot from 10 Analytics. I initially was supposed to join earlier in the year. E- earlier in the year, yes, that's right, but I had to look out for different um, options. Yeah. And just like Dr. Wanika, I stumbled on it on Instagram as well. I also joined a meeting like what you are doing right now. And I think I made my choice from that. So I would just go ahead to share my screen. I have the healthcare background, I'm a healthcare professional. I worked in the hospital for majorly most of my life, but moving into Canada, I felt, it was not straightforward to go there directly. So I decided that, okay, I wanted to upskill in the best way possible to, to get better. And that said, I was able to make a lot of, decisions joining 10 Analytics because I felt like they had majority of the options that I think I needed to be into tech. Yeah, I had a little background in tech before. It's not a tech, although I was trying to do coding before, but I didn't get it. Let me just put it that way. So I ran away and I decided to try it again. That was some years back, 2022. Then I came back again to say, okay, let me try. And this time I said, let me go into the business analyst pathway, which I felt, they carved, health 10 Analytics was generous enough to have a healthcare business analytics program, which I joined in because it will help with your skills. Even though you don't have, you will actually learn on the job and you get better at it. So this was our project that we did, the capstone project on Power BI. It has a lot of jargons that you would learn very easily. We were just trying to create a story from this, and we called it it's a company called Vitacore Supplement, and we had a Power BI capstone project, and we termed it what the numbers were hiding, and it's like a story of a healthy company with 5 levers beneath the headline figures. Now, our pod, like Dr. Wanika said, we were Pod Phoenix, and of course, this is for the June capstone projects that we did. We had what we call a 4-page interactive dashboard, and that's what one thing I need to say is I thought Excel was just about tables until I got into this program and found out that you can create a very beautiful dashboard from Excel and from Power BI. And that's what I want to, tell. I hope you can see my screen. I've already just been blabbing. I don't know if anyone can
Yes,
see
you're
my.
seeing your screen.
Okay,
You're
thank
seeing,
you.
thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. So I'll be moving on to the next slide. So I had the table of content where we prepared that. We talked about the introduction, how we clean the data. They are jargons. So it's just for you to understand that you have to clean data. You have some data that will give you like if you have an idea of what Excel is, you have a table. What a table is several information in the regards to that table, and you have a lot of info data in that, what we call a data set that you have to clean. And what do you mean by cleaning? You make sure that everything is in order so that it can actually portray what you want it to portray. So that was what we did. We had that. Then we talked about the dashboard view. We talked about the key business metrics, the analysis, the recommendations as well, the challenge and limitation for the projects we had, and we concluded. So we went ahead to introduce the company, of course, the Vitacol Supplements Limited, what the problem was, how the management lacked a clear idea of what was driving revenues, profit, returns. All this is just a storyline to just tell you how we were able to go out through, how we were able to go after our projects. And then as the analysts, we handed 5 questions. The first question, which product drive revenue? Then where is the profit really coming from? What is behind the returns? How do the sales rep compare? Which markets and channels win? Then we went over to cleaning and we imported the data, cleaned them. Of course, the cleaning has to do with all these are jargons, but I'm very sure it took me less than 2 months to understand this. So I believe everyone will be able to understand it as you come into the program. So we model the data, visualize, and of course recommend as well. So of course, this is just semantics that tells us about the fact that the number of rows we had, we reduced it to this, and we were able to get a clean data of this amount. Don't worry about the numbers. You get to understand them as they come. All this also trim and clean text, standardize. What we mean is we change the names to become uniform. Like if you have a spelling like beauty, all these are in the data. So we had to make them a standard casing so that everything is uniform, and we had to correct. In fact, once you see a data set, you would understand that there are a lot of information that you need to work on to make it much better as you go. So these are just numbers. Then we were able to tell us what we did, the duplicates removed, the bad date removed, the gaps that we never invented, all these to just prove for the justification of how we clean the data. Then we did what we call a star schema. Don't worry about the jargons as well. It's also something you will learn. Don't worry. It's like what Dr. Wanika said, at the beginning you will get confused, but when you start doing it, you find out that these things are just part of what you need to learn, and you get to understand what a star schema is. This looks like a star, and from the name star schema, you're connecting several tables to one central table where you have the primary key and the primary key of each table to become the foreign key in this. And don't worry, I don't want to bore you with jargon, so I'll just continue. So we'll now go to where exactly what we were able to create from all these data cleaning, data modeling, and all that. And we were able to have 4 interactive dashboards, which we had on every page, we had 4 pages: the executive summary, the sales analysis 1, sales analysis 2, the recommendations as well. And every page carried everything that the information we needed to portray what we needed to defend for the Vitacol Supplements company. So, and this is this is a screenshot. I'll still show you the Power BI on the Power BI page, but this is just a screenshot of an interactive interactive dashboard we did. This is, as you can see, this is just showing different trends, the profits and the charts. All this can be created by you. You can do everything that is here. It's nothing, it just takes you to handle it, but it's just nothing that, it's nothing beyond human recognition. We can all do it. Everyone can do it. Everyone can attempt it and make this even better, dashboards than this actually. So this is the executive summary, the dashboard, and this is the second one, the sales analysis, which we termed products and profits. Now you find out that they are what we call the KPIs. This is the key performance indicators. All these are key performance indicators, just to tell us the numbers that the management needs to know. And the graphs, the charts, of course, the line and column charts. This is what we call heat map or matrix, and of course you would learn all this, and 10Alytics has a lot of materials to help you with all this. And of course you have the third page dashboard. You have all the information given here. We call these the slicers, and you get to understand what they are. They're just a way of beautifying the dashboard for you to see. We also have another heat map, a matrix, a pivot matrix here. And of course, we have a map that measures the country by, revenue by country and column. All these are just the things that you get to learn in the programs that you choose if you actually intend to do business analysis or data analysis as well. And of course, we have the last page, the recommendation page. We talk about the recommendations that the leadership will need to understand and what we have. So that's the 4-page interactive dashboard. I'll still show you in the Power BI page so that you can see what I mean by interactive, because right now those are just screenshots. Then we all moved on to the key business metrics. We talked about the numbers that the business needs to know about, and we had 5 of them, which we had shown. Then eventually we talked about the analysis proper, where we had to bring out sections of the dashboard and explained what they were, where they were masking weak profit. We talked about that in the presentation as well. Then we talked about where the returns were where they were hiding in different places, different regions, Greater Accra, South, and Ontario. Of course, we compared them with the company average and also the country as a whole. And of course, we also talked about the sales rep themselves, who were getting more returns and who were getting less, and who were getting more revenues, what the revenues look like, how you interpreted the data, how you analyzed them. All these 10 Analytics I will provide you information to do. And comparing different channels as well, which is, I don't want to bore you with these details, but we're just telling you about how we presented this. And this is, of course, the analysis of revenue by country as well. Talked about that. And we went on to the recommendations. The recommendations are also in the dashboard. But of course, in defending the project, we highlighted the recommendations one after the other. And as a team, every team has limitations and challenges, and we did work on them one after the other. We were honest with what we did and things we did not do, what the analysis can say and what it didn't do. And of course, we concluded by telling the recommendations of what we needed to do. And that was how we were able to defend, this capstone project. So I will now go on to showing you don't mind what I'm showing. That's SQL. Don't mind me. I am already reading ahead of time, but yes, this is the dashboard, Power BI. So the Power BI dashboard, this is what it looks like. What I meant by interactive is by the time you click, you look for, Canada. Let's just say click Canada. You find out that everything changes on the dashboard. The dashboard that's what we mean by interactive, because you've clicked on Canada, you want to know what's happening in Canada, you can unclick and it goes back to the normal. Yes, you can also click on the product itself and everything changes. Again, it shows you what is happening and what's not. So you can click that. You can also check on the quarter by quarter, first quarter to see what is happening. And you can also check by year as well to see what else is happening. And it's all in every page, different pages. These are things that 10 Analytics will teach you. You have materials to learn with. And of course, the only thing I always say is also come with a learning mindset. And don't, come with the fact that you want to learn and you get a lot from this program. So that would be, I'm just showing you everything that this is what we were able to do in less than 2 months. And I believe it's something that everyone else can do. Thank you very much. And that's the conclusion of my project.
Thank you so much, Kindly, for this wonderful presentation. This is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And like Kindly said, he just joined in May, so literally just 2 months. Okay, then I think we had some questions from you. I think someone already asked how you were able to combine with work. Okay, so before we ask Sir Alexandria question, I think someone asked if this was built with Excel. No, it was built with Power BI, but you can build wonderful dashboards with Excel. I think your first project, because this is your second capstone project.
Yeah,
your first project was with...
Yes, it was Excel. We had, 10 Analytics has a very structured way of teaching. So they will teach you Excel first before you go to Power BI so that you have the idea of what it is. And I mentioned Excel a lot in what I was saying because I know that Excel is where you start from. I didn't think I knew Excel until I got to 10Alytics.
All right, thank you so much, Kainde. So I think someone asked how you were able to combine this with work. So if you'd want to answer that before I ask my question.
Okay, combining with work is it's something that you have to plan. And also, like what Dr. Wanika said, you just have to have the passion. In fact, at the beginning, you have sessions at the beginning that they tell you to make a declaration, I am going to complete my program. And that you must mean. So combining with work is quite, of course, like you can see, I am about to head out. I was supposed to go somewhere, but I'm still going. But at the same time, I still have other things I need to do. And work comes in, I have to burn the midnight candle. That's what it means. Sacrificing some time to do that, to go to work. You have to pay bills. Of course, when you are in a country like Canada, UK, US, and even Nigeria, any country, you have to pay bills. And paying bills would mean that you have to work. So, but also, you also know what you need to do to upskill. And that's why I decided to join the 10Alytics program. So it's not straightforward. You have to give in the time, and you have to, of course, learn how to manage your time, prioritize what needs to be done earlier so that you don't let anything lacking. I think if you have that passion, you will always create time for it. We have the same 24 hours. That's what I think.
All right, thank you so much, Kainde. And thank you so much for the sacrifices. I mean, right now, you're even sacrificing some time to just join in. You mentioned that this was Canada Day, so we really appreciate. So we don't take more of your time. I have a question for you. Funny enough, everyone, Kainde is actually the pod lead for his pod. Okay, so I just want to ask how the teamwork was able to, help you go through with the project and how being a team leader has also impacted your, you know, your assimilation here at 10Alytics.
Okay, thank you, Adeze. I wanted to say Dr. Wanika because I was still going to refer to her as well. She said something about the fact that the passion exactly is also one thing I will still emphasize on. We worked as a team, and the importance of working as a team is letting everyone, accommodating people's excesses, one, because we all have different things that we are all going through. And the thing is that as a person, we were in different countries. I was working with people from the US, working with people from the UK, as well as Canada, as well as Nigeria. And so it's all boils down to the fact that, well, how do we agree with time zones? When are we meant to meet and how that? And those things helped me to understand people's struggles and how to combine meetings together. We didn't expect that. The team would have been in a disarray if you didn't have the same goal ahead. So what we did was everyone has individual learnings to do while we worked on the project. So the pod, the project pod, the pod team was to help us to understand how everyone would work together and at the same time get better at their individuals. Also, as pod leader, the importance of that is while you are a leader, you learn to, teach. And the only way you can learn something is by teaching. The best way rather to learn something is by teaching. And that's where I think it's important for you to avail yourselves, not just because it's going to be tough. Yes, it's going to be tough, but at the same time, avail yourself to the place whereby you can help out with explaining something that some people don't understand, and it sticks better when you do that. And I think that's what has been helping us as a team. We've been coming together as a team to discuss things, and eventually we were able to work out some of these, projects that you think, it looks very beautiful, but the hard work behind it was a lot. So it's just for us to understand the team dynamics and also to understand and to accommodate our excesses. It's not going to be perfect all through, but you just have to find a way to create a balance amongst everyone. I hope I've answered your question, Daisy.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate, and it was awesome having you on the call. Okay. So let's give a round of applause for Kainde for taking out his time, to guide us through this. All right, awesome. So I'm going to, take over from here. Give me a second, please. So I proceed to share my screen. Okay, but before I do that, I think I have a question. Okay, so Yemi asks if BA and data analysis share the same modules. Yeah, so some similar, they share similar modules, but they are distinct. Okay, so for business analysis, we have a little bit of data analysis. Okay, so for the first few months, it's data analysis before you go into the core business analysis concept. Okay, so I'm going to proceed to share. Give me a second, please. Sorry, just give me a second. I'm trying to set up my screen. All right, awesome. I believe we can all see my screen. Okay. Okay, so thank you once again, Dr. Wandeka. Thank you very much, Kainde. And they've shown us wonderful project. Okay, so I'm sure we are just not here to see the project. Also here where I might ask questions. Okay, why project? Why do we emphasize so much on projects here at 10Alytics? Okay, so the first thing I want you to know is that 10Alytics is a project-based learning environment. Okay, so as you've seen, we're not just about coming to classes and just listening to your lecturers. We're here to your facilitators, rather. We're here to ensure that you are applying the skills that you are being taught in real time. Okay, so we're heavily based on projects. Okay, so we have three major reasons here why we have focused on projects. And firstly, we have unforgettable. So basically reading is theory, doing is memory. Just like Kaindi and Neka said earlier on, or let me focus more on Mrs. Neka. She already mentioned earlier on that she had written exams and she had passed exams, okay? But these were all theoretical in classes. And when she came into 10Alytics, she was able to work on projects, which made her understand exactly what she's doing. There's a difference between reading through a concept and actually applying this concept. Okay, so project transforms abstract concepts into deeply ingrained professional knowledge. It becomes part of you. Why? Because you get to practice and apply what you are actually studying. Okay, it's also an interview shield for you. All right, so you wouldn't be afraid of, oh, tell me a time when you worked on this when you're applying for interviews, because you actually worked on projects. All right, so projects that we have here are basically simulations of, what you're going to be doing in the typical workspace. Okay, these are problems in your average workspace that you need to resolve, that need solutions. Okay, so your projects also provide evidence of how competent you are. Okay, and tool mastery, of course, when you do projects, you learn and master the tools required for your career path. And this is how you build confidence in the career path or the job role that you've transitioned into or you're transitioning into. Okay, so on to the next. Okay, so I've gone through all of this. I hope you all saw my screen there. Okay, so all right, sorry, give me a second. Okay, so why do we have projects over certifications, okay? So certification basically grades that you were present in classes and you listened to classes, okay? A portfolio is filled with projects that actually shows that you did or you executed something. Okay, so projects are evidence to your employers to hire you, basically. So there is an analogy I will give. Okay, so if let's say you want to, I would use the baker shop or a pastry shop, and you want to get, some nice desserts. If you go to a pastry shop and you see the culinary chef or the pastry chef, and he shows you, oh, okay, I went to this culinary school. He shows you his certificates and all whatnot that he graduated from, but you can't see anything he's done. He's just showing you a fancy certificate of a fancy culinary school he, graduated from. I mean, yes, you might look at the certificate, but if you went to another pastry shop where there is a show glass showing all the beautiful cakes and pastries for you to eat from, you'd most likely go to the workshop where you have a showcase of pastries that you have to indulge. So that's basically the difference between a certificate and a portfolio. So a portfolio is basically, a show glass. That's the analogy I would use, a show glass for your project. So when you're done with the project, whenever you're done with a project, you upload it to your portfolio. It also serves as a backup for your employers. They need to vet what you've done or what you've learned so far. You have that ready. Okay. Next, oops, sorry about that. Next, companies hire to solve problems. So just like I said, your projects are basically the simulation of, actual real life cases that you work on. Okay, they are not abstract projects. They are projects mimicking what you'd face in the real world situation. Okay, and showing that you've solved a problem relating to theirs would build instant trust. Instantly, your hirer or your recruiter will want to hire you because they've built that confidence that, oh, you know what you're doing. Okay. And thirdly, projects close the experience gap. So they give you the language and confidence to speak like a professional. And this would help you transition into tech faster than you can imagine. Okay, so we have some of our participants here who just joined in 2-3 months and their transition journey has been smooth so far. Okay, so now let's see some of our students who were able to complete their program and get a job or transition into their first tech role. So sorry, give me a second. So we have Ikmat. Ikmat was a full-time stay-at-home mom with a 2-year employment gap, and she moved into the UK for her master's in public health. Okay, and she transitioned from the title. She transitioned from being a stay-at-home mom to an NHS information analyst. So she joined the 10Alytics data analytics program, and in January she landed her information analyst role with the NHS with a full visa sponsorship. Okay, so before I go further on, I'm sure my colleagues have been sharing an attendance form. So you could click the link, fill up the form, so you get access to the recording of this session and to the slides I'm using as well. Okay, so here is her letter of employment from the NHS. Remember, she joined the data analytics program and she had a 2-year employment gap because she was a stay-at-home mom, but she was able to land a role as an information analyst with the NHS. Okay, so we also have Pavel, who completed his data analytics program in December. Okay, so what did he do? The first thing he did was to tailor his CV to a healthcare data analyst. He joined all our mentorship sessions, got prepped for multiple interviews, and he got multiple job offers. So here at 10Alytics, we're just not focused on you coming to classes. We also work on your employability skills. All right, we are just not focused on your technical skills. So here at 10Alytics, we give you tools to revamp your CV. Okay, we have the CV revamp service we offer. We also provide weekly mentorship sessions. Okay, we provide weekly mentorship sessions where we talk about basically navigating the job market, optimizing your CV and your LinkedIn. So all of that to assist you all right, with your employability skills, okay? We also have our interview prep, and that's why he got prep for multiple interviews and he got multiple job offers, okay? And how did he get all these job offers? He applied to multiple jobs and focused on building a strong portfolio. So like we've said earlier on, why projects are very, very important, and building a portfolio is very important as well, okay? He tailored his application. For every role he applied to, he tailored his application. So remember, he joined data analysis program in December, and in March, he was able to land a healthcare data analyst role in the US with Arizona Community Physicians in Tucson, Arizona, that's United States. So he got a job in less than 3 months after completing the program. Okay. So yeah, basically, that's what we had for Pavel. So Pavel was a teacher in Cameroon who transitioned to being a healthcare data analyst in the US. Okay. So on to the next, we also have Amaka. Amaka was out of job for over 6 months in Canada. She couldn't secure interviews before joining our human resources analytics program in July. Okay, she completed her program in December and she got multiple interviews. She secured a job as a HR data analyst with Sask Energy in Canada. Okay, so this is her testimonial here with us. And we have Judith as well. So Judith had a background in Nigeria as HR, and she worked as a carer while studying. Okay. So the first thing Judith did before transitioning into her career as a business analyst was to learn. Okay, so she joined our program here at 10Alytics, that's 10Alytics Business Analysis Program, and completed her program in March. The next step she did was to position herself properly in the job market. Okay, and how did she do this? She tailored her CV to a business analyst CV. She joined all her mentorship sessions and got prepped for multiple interviews with us. Okay, and what was the next thing she did? She applied. She applied to multiple jobs, both in the UK and in the US, from the job board tailored provided by 10Alytics. So like I said, we have so much more to offer other than just learning your technical skills. So what if you're ready for the change? Trust me, we've got you covered with multiple resources. Okay. And yeah, so we also have the job board where you have multiple jobs that are updated weekly for you to apply to. And remember, she tailored her application to every role that she applied for. Okay. And how did she get the job? In July, she landed a job as a business analyst in the US working remotely. So remember, she was a carer while studying, and she landed a remote job as a business analyst. She got her job in less than 4 months after completing her program. Okay, and here we have Sandra. Sandra joined the GRC program in March 2025 and landed her job as a data protection paralegal in October 2025. Okay, so she joined in March, and before October, she already gotten her job role. Sorry, apologies for that. Okay, so we also have Gad. Gad was a mechanical engineer and he moved to the UK for his master's. Okay, but now he's a data warehouse and ETL developer with NHS on sponsorship. Okay, and he got this after completing his program with 10Alytics. So just like how everyone else had the same pathway, you see Gad joined the 10Alytics data engineering program and had completed his program, and he was issued his certificate in July 2024. He positioned himself by tailoring his CV to a data engineer, joined all mentorship sessions, got prepped for multiple interviews, and he built a portfolio. Remember, projects are very, very important, and they build confidence, just not with you, but with your recruiters and your employers as well. Okay, so he applied to multiple jobs consistently. He tailored every application. He knew where and how to apply. So in January 2025, he landed a data warehouse and ETL developer role with the NHS. He got his job less than 6 months after completing the program. Okay, and now we have Williams. Williams was a civil engineer and he transitioned to a strategy analyst in the financial services sector in Poland. So I'm sure some of us are coming from maybe a very vast background that you feel like you can't bridge that gap to meet up with tech, but you can see everyone here have been able to transition regardless of their background. Okay, so Williams had a background in engineering and construction. He moved to Poland for his master's in civil engineering, but he wanted more than that. Okay, so he joined the 10Alytics program in January 2024, and in September, he landed a junior strategy analyst with Marsh McLean, okay, in Poland. All right. And if you are wondering, oh, maybe I'm too young for this or I'm too old, I'm not just ready, let me tell you something. With 10Alytics, age is not a limitation, okay? Age is not a limitation. So we have Christian who got a job at the age of 18 as a data processor and analyst, okay? So it wasn't even Christian who registered directly. It was his brother who believed in him and, registered him here with 10Alytics. So he joined our program in September 2024. He landed a job as a data processor and analyst with Market Trends International. Okay, so like I said earlier on, the first step he did was to learn. He joined us for our data analytics course at September 2024. As usual, he tailored his CV to the data analyst role, got prepped for multiple interviews, joined all mentorship sessions, built a portfolio. That's how he positioned himself in the job market. Then he applied. He applied to multiple jobs consistently. He tailored every application and he knew where to apply and how to apply. In July 2025, he landed his job as a data processor and analyst with Market Trends International in just 4 months after completing his program. So I'm very sure I've shared a lot of stories and testimonials here. And we saw a pattern. We definitely saw a pattern. We definitely heard things repeat itself. Okay. So what did everyone have in common? Everyone who was able to transition their career path into tech, what did they have in common? The first thing they had was complete beginners with no tech experience. Okay, so I'm sure before some of us joined this call, we are probably intimidated by the tech space because it all sounds like jargons. It all sounds like I have to be a professional to thrive in this space. But no, from all the stories we've shared so far, everyone started as complete beginners with no tech experience. That was the one thing they all had in common. What was the next thing they had in common? They all joined 10Alytics. So earlier on when I introduced the course, I listed all the programs we have to offer, from business analysis to data analysis, DevOps engineering, project management, product design, data science, and data engineering. They all joined a course at 10Alytics, okay? And they learned the right skills. Okay, how do you learn the right skills? We've already worked on that. We've already provided that for you. So you don't even have to brainstorm if you are on track because we've got that tailored for you. Okay, then they worked on projects. So they were just not coming to classes. They were actually practicing what they learned in class in a real world simulation. So it wasn't just abstract projects. No, these were projects that were similar to the same problems that companies faced and the same solutions that recruiters are looking for problem solvers to work on. Okay, then now they all have a job in tech, making them tech sis and tech bros. Okay, so that's basically what they all have in common. It's not rocket science. Why? Because 10Alytics have paved a way for you. Okay, so let's talk about their strategy. What was their strategy? Firstly, they got into a career path that is high. So if you remember earlier on, when I mentioned they were learning the right skills, okay? So the first step is to get into a career path that is high in demand, okay? And we just didn't, that's the first part. So we just didn't randomly go to the tech space to get random career. No, we took our analysis and we made sure to get roles that are very, very high in demand. Okay, and those are the list of courses we have here for sale. Okay, so you can see from the job board analysis that LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, Total Jobs, Google Jobs, and all whatnot, to the WEF validation, that's job validation, that's future job report, that's the global view, and the regional analysis. So this is where we get and source where the highest and upcoming jobs in tech are coming from. Okay, so these are all the skills and the regional analysis. So here we have the available links for you to also check them out. Remember, like I said, in the chat box, we will be having in the chat box, my colleagues will be sending the attendance form. So if you want to have access to this recording and the slides, please fill the attendance form. Okay, so after running our analysis and getting all our data from these sources, okay, we had the conclusion on the different roles that are high in demand. Okay, high in demand with high pay. All right, so we have the business analysis, we have data analysis, we have data science, we have agile project management and Scrum, we have data engineering, we have cybersecurity analysis or analyst, we have the HR analyst, we have the financial analyst, we have DevOps engineering, and we have product design. Okay, so these are all the programs that are currently very, very high in demand, and we've already sourced them to compile them for you to choose from. Okay, we also have the GRC analyst and health tech related roles. So I think someone asked the question earlier in the chat box that is there a difference between a data analyst and a health tech data analyst? So for these roles, we've tailored your project and your simulations to the health tech space. Okay, so that's the major difference. You work on different case studies that is tailored to the healthcare roles. Okay, so that's it about that. Okay, then what was their second strategy? So remember, the first strategy was to get in a high demand role. Okay, the second is to learn the skills required to land these high demand jobs. Okay, that's the right way. And how did ICMAT learn? So I think we've, oh, sorry, excuse me. Apologies for that. All right. So how did ICMAT learn? And basically everyone who before her, everyone after her, and everyone who has been able to be successful with 10Alytics, the first thing she did was to learn in a project-based environment. Okay? In a project-based environment and doing the real work. So it's not just coming to classes and watching your facilitator work on the project or your case studies. No, you get to actually work and put hands-on experience on these projects. Okay, so that's basically the major learning strategy she had. Okay, so during your course with 10Alytics, you get to complete 15 to 25 projects, okay, because you'd have your projects with 10Alytics and you'd also have extra 2 months internship where you work on projects back to back. That will be after the end of your program. Okay, and this is a visual representation of what the project looks like. I'm sure we all saw the beautiful slides our wonderful participants shared earlier on from project management and business analysis. I'm telling you, they started on that project from scratch. Okay, they created the slides, they worked on the data, and they created all the charts that you saw. They all worked on the project from scratch without even probably knowing the concept of the role before they enrolled. So they worked on the project from scratch. Okay, and that's how you are also going to work if you follow these steps. Okay, and the third strategy was to gain work experience, okay, to show employers that you are the best candidate. And how? do we gain work experience? Like we said again, projects, okay? Because projects are real life simulations of projects problems you're going to be solving, okay? So you build your experience through projects from, from your classes, like we've spoken on earlier, all right? Then your 2 months internship. I'm sure I've already mentioned it, and some of us were wondering, what is this internship about? So here at 10Alytics, after you're done with the technical part and your curriculum, you get 2 months internship with our partner, our sister company, Amdari, where you have the unique opportunity of having both 10Alytics and Amdari in your CV and LinkedIn, okay? So you get access to jobs across America, that's North America, and the United Kingdom, okay? And yeah, basically for those 2 months, you're just going to keep working on projects and you're going to gain that real life experience, okay? And other than just working on the project, your project is not going to sit still in your laptop or in your folder, right? We need to present them in portfolios that we can share to recruiters or hiring managers to go through it and gain confidence with what we claim to learn, okay? Or to what we've learned, basically. So that's the third strategy she had. And the first strategy was to know where and how to apply for jobs. Okay, and how did she apply for jobs? Okay, the first step is where to apply. So we have the 10Alytics job board, okay, and it's going to be on your learning management system. And here we update jobs every week, weekly updates where we provide jobs for you to apply to. Okay, so you can see on my screen a visual representation of what it has. And you can also see it's quite tiny, but we also have indicate sponsored jobs in case that's just what you want to tailor, what you want to focus on applying for. You can easily filter them. So across multiple continents, Canada, US, UK, we have jobs and they are updated weekly for you to apply to. Okay, so that's the first step, knowing where to apply. We've gotten that out of your way. Okay, we also have the Amdari job board. Okay, so even with Amdari, your next month with Amdari, you still get that opportunity to keep applying for jobs. And of course, the general job boards, which we have mentorship sessions to help you go through. So you see the UK visa jobs, the NHS jobs, the visa jobs, HQ, the health jobs, UK remote rocket ship, and all whatnot. So all of these job boards, we still revisit external job boards during our mentorship sessions to guide you on how to apply for jobs. Okay, so or where to apply for jobs. The next is how to apply. And when we are talking about how to apply for jobs, we are talking about your employability skills, okay? Your employability skills. So here at 10Alytics, these are the different, here at 10Alytics, we have different services. Firstly, we have the CV review and the CV revamp. Okay, so on your learning management system, when you come in, we're going to guide you and we're going to review and revamp your CV according to the role that you are studying. Okay, so you don't even have to worry about whatever your CV had before. We're going to take care of that and we're going to review and give you a revamped CV so you stand a better chance when competing in the job market. Okay, next we have LinkedIn optimization. We have LinkedIn optimization sessions, still part of our mentorship sessions that hold weekly. Okay, we optimize your LinkedIn on how to stand out and how to get recruiters to even reach out to you with job opportunities. Okay, we have navigating the job market. These are still part of our mentorship sessions. Like I said earlier on, the mentorship sessions is built on, is created to build your employability skills. We have the interview prep. So once you join us at 10Alytics, you have unlimited access to interview preparations. What's an interview prep? Basically, if you apply to jobs or you basically apply to jobs, right? And you have an interview coming up, we would give you a mock interview, an interview simulation, okay, where we get to go through your CV, go through the job roles, and we are going to research on the on the questions that you most likely be asked. Okay, we're going to give you an interview prep session, review your performance, and also give you feedback ahead of time for the main interview. So it's just like a mock exam, basically preparing you for your interview. Okay, and we have job reference letter. We provide references reference details, reference letters for your jobs, or for, yeah, basically that's it, on the job support. So if you're still, trying to find that confidence in scaling up, even after you've gotten the job, we offer support on the job to make sure you settle in well and you transition smoothly. Okay. Then weekly mentorship, basically your weekly mentorship encompasses of everything I have spoken here about here and more. Okay. So like I said, the weekly mentorship helps you gain your employability skills and just gives you tips on how to get employed, how to navigate the job market, build your confidence in all of that. Okay. And finally, we have Upwork optimization. Okay. So guess what? Other than just your classes, you can also get real-time support from facilitators every day of the week whenever you're stuck. So instead of waiting all week to class to get to your facilitators, we have our daily drop-in sessions. Okay, and with our daily drop-in sessions, you can book slots. You can see the calendar here. All the available slots are highlighted in blue. I can book slots where you get to share your screen and discuss with a facilitator to help you and assist you with whenever you're stuck at any concept. Okay, so you always have support on the go. All right, and we're going to talk about the learning structure here at 10Alytics. Okay, so what's the learning structure like? We have 6 months of intensive training with 10Alytics and 2 months internship with Amdari, like I've said earlier on. So what does the 6 months at 10Alytics look like? Firstly, your Saturday classes, which are your live classes, okay? And we have 2 sessions in the week. Okay, so we have the morning class. This is me using the UK, the UK time zone. Okay, so we have the morning class, or the West African time zone rather. We have the morning class from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and that's the EU classes. So EU basically means Europe because this time frame aligns more with people in the UK, people in Africa. Okay, then we have and that will be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. MST. Okay, and we have the evening class, which is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Watts. Okay, and that's, yeah. Oh, sorry. And we have the evening class, which is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Watt. That's actually the 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. MST. And I think that's 1 p.m. EST. But for the morning class, we have the 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Watt. And that's basically for the EU, UK, and African time zones. Okay. So remember, every Saturdays, or not every Saturdays, on Saturdays, you'd have your classes, okay? You'd have your class or a capstone presentation. Because just like how Kainde and Dr. Waneka has come to present, that's actually how you get to present your projects to your facilitator and you get your corrections and your feedback. So for every project you work on, you get feedback from your facilitators. Okay, so remember 6 months training at 10Alytics, and this is where you have your drop-in sessions. This is where you have your mentorship sessions, your training. Okay, so that's your first 6 months, and you have 2 more after your 6 months. You have 2 months internship with Amdari, where you work on projects back to back. Okay, and combining these two, the duration of the program is 8 months in total. Okay. Also, other than your classes, we have the self-paced videos, which are the watch me do it videos. Okay, so we also have materials that you get to watch ahead of your class to fortify you for that class. Okay, so it helps you have the concepts to learn better in the class, because remember our classes are very practical. Okay, so we have self-paced videos and materials that you get to watch, all right, ahead of time for your classes. And all your classes are recorded, all right? So you aren't going to miss out on anything. We have all the resources available for you. Okay, now, like I said earlier on, we have our mentorship sessions and our interview prep. Okay, mentorship sessions mostly by 10 p.m. West African time. That's usually for the EU, UK, and African time zones. Okay, then occasionally we also have the 8 p.m. MST time zone. all right? And that's for Canada and US, okay? And yeah, so your 10Alytics advantage, what are the advantages you have when you join us here at 10Alytics? You get the skills, of course, that's like a core advantage, the experience, the employability skills, and the winning application strategies. Okay, so I want to ask, I know on the comment section, someone mentioned they want to change. Okay, so are you comfortable where you are right now? I think this is a moment for self-reflection. I'm very sure for us to join this call out of curiosity. Some of us want to change our career path. Some of us are tired and sick of what we're currently doing, and we're looking for a change. So I want you to use this moment to reflect on yourself. Are you comfortable? Are you willing to take that step? Okay, are you willing to take that step to change your career, transition into tech? I'm sure you've been hearing a lot about tech and how it's growing, and it's basically a global demand right now. Okay, so if you've had that thought, or it's something you're thinking about, I want to tell you that joining this session is already a great step, and is the first step. Okay, is the right step. All right, and you are on the right track. Okay, so our next cohort is starting on July 4th, 2026, basically this Saturday. Okay, and that's our next cohort. And we have a special offer for everyone who joined this call. Okay, so currently we just have 10 slots left. Okay, so let me just go through the programs we have. I think we all have them listed here. We have health tech courses, we have business analysis, we have data analytics, we have data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, GRC analyst, HR analytics, financial analysis, agile project management, and Scrum, and DevOps engineering. So these are the 11 courses we have right now, and we currently have a special offer for you, which is a 20% discount. Okay, a 20% discount. I'm sure my colleagues will be sharing a link in the chat box. Okay, so you'd want to click that link and register. So the full amount is actually $1,250. We're going to be giving it out at a discounted price of $1,000. Okay, for 8 months, and we have just 10 slots left, because our next cohort is starting this Saturday. So we just have 10 slots for Saturday to secure your spot. Okay, so my colleagues will be sharing the link on the chat box, and I'm very sure you get the slide as well if you want to go through what we've done, provided you filled in the attendance form. Okay, so remember all the courses we have here, any that suits you. Okay, so if you are scared, if you want to transition into tech and you're scared of coding, or you're scared of, don't worry, we've got you covered. Okay, we have some of our courses that are not code inclined. Okay, you can always book a clarity call with us if you're not too sure. But yeah, we've got courses deep into coding, and courses that you can transition in without having to type a code. Okay, tech is quite vast and is beyond coding. All right, so like I said, we are on a 20% discount, and instead of the $1,250 we sell our courses every month, we're going to be giving you $1,000, and this is going to cover both your training at 10Alytics and your 2-month internship at Amdari. Okay, so that's it here. Thank you so much for staying in. I'm very sure some of us have questions, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I am going to go through the questions. Okay, so sorry, let me open my chat box. Not seeing any questions. Okay, so I think I've already responded to some of the questions on how long the program is and how much it will cost. So the program is 8 months, and typically is $1,200, but currently we're on a 20% discount, and we're selling for $1,000. Okay. Okay, so I think Jennifer asked, after hiring, do you have continued access to support if you land, and how long is it? Okay, yes. So Jennifer, you have lifetime access to our interview preps, okay? And all the materials we'll be providing you, you also have lifetime access to those materials. Okay, so can I get Pavel's email address, please? Pavel's email address. Okay, yes, you can, Emmanuel. It's on the slide. So I would want you to fill the attendance form. If you fill the attendance form, the slide will be sent over to you, and you would have access to his email. Okay. Um, okay. For agile project management, do we have to sit for certifications? Oh, certification exam before applying for jobs. I think, okay, this is Samsung. Sorry, your name is not on your Zoom, but no, not at all. You do not have to sit. You can start applying for jobs immediately after your first project. Okay. Okay, so I'm still going through. Can someone still join after Saturday? Of well, I mean, we would have a next cohort, but to secure your spot now and to get this discount, you have to enroll before then. Okay, so do well. So okay, thank you so much, Simone. All right. So Darlington says, I have enrolled, but I haven't finished the onboarding session. Not sure how. Okay, um, Darlington, I'm going to reply you my email, because to have access to the group chats, you need you need to complete your onboarding checklist. Okay. So I'm going to send you my email right now, so you can send me a mail and I can link you up with support to assist with that. Okay. All right. I've sent that. Still scrolling down a bit to see more programs. Okay. So before we close, I also want to let you know that we also have instrumental payments. Okay, so don't be afraid of the $1,000. You can break it down. Okay, so we have 2 months installments, we have 3 months installments, and we have 5 months installments. Okay, so you can start your journey with $200, okay, to secure your spot. Okay, so even if you enroll now with $200, you can start your journey to secure your spot and still take advantage of the discount we have right now. Okay. Um, okay, Emmanuel says he has registered for the health tech program and he has made his initial payments of £150 to start in August. What are the things I need to get? Just can't wait. All right, Emmanuel, it's so lovely having you on the call. So the first thing you need to do is complete your onboarding checklist. Okay, we need you to complete your onboarding checklist, because when you complete your onboarding checklist, that's when you have access to your group chats, your classroom, and your pod group. Okay, you are going to be in two WhatsApp group chats, which is your pod group and the main class group. Okay, so that's basically what you need to do. Complete your onboarding checklist. But as you complete your onboarding checklist, there are also installation video tools and video guides you need to, go through the program. All right. And even if you miss out on those, we can still provide them with you, but you need to complete your onboarding checklist. That's the first thing you need to do. Okay. Um, okay, so um how do you join the classes if your rota is scheduled for weekends? Okay, so like I said earlier on, all our classes are being recorded and you can take advantage of the weekly drop-in sessions. Okay, so when you catch up with the classes, remember we have drop-in sessions from Mondays to Fridays before your classes. So you can have a live interaction from Monday to Friday. You can just book a drop-in sessions. Okay, so thank you everyone. I think that's all on my end. I'm not sure if you're not too sure of the rate right now. Once you click the link, it just directs you, and you can also choose the currency you'd want, so it can also convert it to um the currency in your time zone. All right, or in your country rather. So thank you so much for joining us. I think, do I have another question? I think that's all. I don't think I have more questions. Okay. So yeah, basically, I think someone asked about the, okay. So my colleague is sharing the link. Do not forget, you can start with $200 and make that change, make that transition now. Okay. Okay, so there's just one question I saw. Sorry, that was from Tony. The tech job market is challenging. How can one be confident to get a job? See, that's why we are here for you at 10Alytics, okay? So remember that you are just not here to learn the skills. We are going to literally guide you from where to apply. We already have a job board weekly updated for you on applications, okay? Your CV, whether you have background in tech or not, we are going to tailor your CV. We also have a service that will match your CV to multiple jobs. So we're going to give you a standard CV. We're also going to help you to tailor those CV to multiple jobs. Okay. Now for your confidence, remember your projects. Trust me, while you're working on your projects, the confidence will be growing as you dive into the course longer. Okay. So as you work on your project, you are going to build confidence. All right. And remember, the project you're working on is giving you skills that are high in demand. So there's even a point you optimize your LinkedIn to where recruiters will be reaching out to you. You'll be getting job offers on your LinkedIn. Okay, so if it's about confidence, trust me, a lot of people who join in as novice and they land their first tech role. Okay, and okay, so Nancy is hand is up, and I think I'm going to give her the opportunity to speak. And once she's done, we're going to call it live. Okay, hello Nancy. How are you doing
Hello,
today?
I'm all right. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, thanks for this opportunity. I've been following up a lot of your programs, and last week I wanted to enroll, but then I had to just maybe step back for some few reasons. Maybe the first question that I would want to ask you is the one for optimizing LinkedIn profiles, because I see most of like companies that would want us maybe to enroll into their programs, they're always talking about helping us with optimizing our LinkedIn profiles. So sometimes for me, it's a question that I always ask myself that, for example, maybe I have a lot of connections on LinkedIn, and maybe looking at either maybe one of you or someone like that, they have a few maybe connections on LinkedIn. Then how does one say they'll help me optimize my LinkedIn profile? Is it about maybe having like potential employers reaching out to you? And then the other one, I live in Ireland, and I know it's like you are most focused on people in the UK. So I wanted to find out also if it's something that you also help us this side to maybe have the opportunity of getting jobs. I know it's not guaranteed, but maybe having the chances of whereby you get maybe interview opportunities and everything, because I've experienced whereby I'm always applying on LinkedIn like every day. I don't even know how many applications I do send, and I don't even get maybe interview opportunities. I don't even get maybe a response. You understand? I do apply on LinkedIn, Indeed. I don't even get any response because sometimes it's frustrating. So for me, it's about if I invest, because for me, it's investing into the course. Is it something that is worth investing? Because I don't want to regret and be like, you know what, I did because I think with your company, it's better because there is installment opportunities. You understand? That's why I said I wanted to enroll last week. But then uh, I just want you to give me that confidence that just try us and you'll see the results, because I'm about to like complete my master's in data science. I completed last year also my honors degree in business. I have accounting qualification, but it's really, really frustrating as an non-EU not getting a job.
I totally understand, Nancy, and I I can totally understand. Okay. So the first thing I would want to assure you for your LinkedIn optimization, yes. Okay. Building better connections and also getting reached by recruiters. So not even just you applying and getting the jobs. I'm saying recruiters will literally send you a message or a DM with job opportunities. That's one. Secondly, I think I left this out. So you know how we have the drop-in sessions from Mondays to Fridays. We also have something called the employability sessions. We still have your mentorship sessions, right? So your mentorship sessions are the general sessions, okay, where we'll also guide you. On the LMS, we also have materials starting from how to open up a LinkedIn account. That's how grassroots these materials are. And we're going to build you up to optimizing your LinkedIn. So other than the materials we also have the general mentorship sessions where you get LinkedIn optimization from our facilitators, LinkedIn optimization sessions, which is a live session of like just like how this session is, okay, your facilitator will guide you on how to optimize. And after that, we also have employability sessions that you can book. And in this session, you can share your screen one-on-one with your facilitator to guide you, okay, what should I do on my LinkedIn? How can I make this better? And all. And that's not just what the employability session is all about. Also, maybe matching your experiences, maybe trying to navigate more job roles and all of that. Basically, everything about your employability skills. So remember, the drop-in sessions are for your technical skills. We have the employability session, which is weekly from Monday to Friday, but for your employability skills. Okay, so that's it for the drop-in sessions. Then for the job boards, it's not just UK and US. We also do have some jobs for Ireland as well. Okay, so basically European jobs. We also have our wing spread in Europe. Okay, and we also have a lot of remote jobs as well that we apply that we give you access to. Okay, and I just want to assure you that every skill you're going to learn with 10Alytics is globally applicable, regardless of where you're joining us from. Okay, whether you're from Africa, you're from Asia, you're joining us from Singapore, you can get a job everywhere, anywhere in the world or in the continent. Why? Because it's globally applicable. Okay, so I'm here to assure you that it's worth investing in. Okay, because you're going to have access to multiple, and when I mean multiple resources. Okay, we also have our job sprints, departmental job sprints, where we encourage you on the call live. You get to apply for jobs. If you're going through any blocker, you bring it up to your facilitator. So when we have support ready for you, okay, to apply as much as you want. Okay, and also I mentioned the interview prep earlier on, and maybe your CV too. Your CV, you need to work on your CV. You need a portfolio, okay, because also when you're applying for jobs and all, you might also want to have your portfolio ready. And when you have your CV, you have all the experience. Your recruiter scrolls down and just wants to see, okay, I'm seeing all these words. Where is the work? Okay. And when you attach your portfolio to your CV and your recruiter clicks on the links, he has seen projects you've worked on. Do you understand? So, like I said, we are going to give you access to all of these materials and services. So I hope I've been able to assure you, Nancy. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay,
Thanks a
guys. So,
lot.
all
Yes.
right. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining and staying with me. I mean, we closed 6 minutes early, so we're on track, and I can't wait to see you all in class on Saturday. Yes, okay. So I'm the coordinator for business analysis. So you might see me in your class on Saturday. Okay, but you still see me around regardless, okay? So have a nice one. And like I said, to see you in class, don't hesitate. Remember, this is a discount. I'm giving you a 20% discount, okay? All right. So thank you. Okay, and that's it for now. Okay, so remember the cohort starts by July. All right, it was wonderful having everyone. I love how interactive this session was. And yeah, let's call it a night or a day. So yeah.
Bye. Blimey. God blimey. God blimey.